spoke to Mummy next. I think they're down this way.
Because I haven't seen the digger yet.
No.
Tell us about your sculpture.
Well, basically it's about being homeless, really. I mean, this is my pension, isn't it? I mean, you know, this is what it's ended up with, a van and 4 wheels, a mobile home. And, yeah, I had to do a little bit of sculptural work on it because they were a little bit worried about the fact that it was too, like it was a van, you know. So I backed it into a post and, you know, got that sort of sculptural kind of organic feel to it. The only drawback was I can't find another one of these because they're a 1982 Toyota's rare as hen's teeth, apparently.
So what's the idea with writing all over it?
It's a good question. I don't know where that came from. It just started and, you know, then we started, well, you know, might as well go with the flow. But no, it's actually about, there's 2 things kids, sucks kids in. One is writing on something they're not supposed to write on, which is basically the guts of all the culture, really, isn't it? Because it started years and years ago and they put marks on caves and they dug into the Burrup Peninsula and carved sort of, you know, emu tracks and kangaroos jumping over the rocks and all that kind of stuff. God knows why, but I guess they had to have something to do, but they all, you know, there's this inherent desire to put a mark on things.
What's the response?
You can't get around it.
What's the response been like?
Well, I mean, you know, I don't know how many people have marked the thing in this last week, but quite a few.
What's your favourite piece on the beach, Tim?
Oh, God, that's a good question. Well, the one that blew over was pretty good. He was worried too. I was sitting down with him, Ivan Black, the English guy, you know, like he did the golden mean spinning piece that Cottesloe bought.
Yeah.
And he was going like, they tried to put it up the first day we came in, and it was blowing a gale, and he said, oh, I don't know whether you can put this up, this is just going to be too much. Because he hadn't anticipated the amount of wind you could hear. And then I'm sitting down with him at the party on the opening night, and he's going, the guys just went, oh, bugger, it's be all right, you know, dugga, 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 and they whacked it in.
Nice to see a bit of Bob Juniper up there.
Yeah, absolutely. So Bob's here. Actually, Barnett came down the other day and complained because he'd paid $5 million for his view, and I got mine for nothing. And I said to him, listen, Colin, where'd you get the $5 million? That's the thing that interests me. It wouldn't have been an office fit out or anything, would it? And then they rushed him off to see the Junipers.
What did he think of your office fit out?
Well, that's, yeah, I know, no, they didn't, you know, his minders all surrounded him and they dragged him off down the track. But actually, but Bob's here and he's got xantharias, so, you know, which is what I did last year.
Yeah.
In fact, if you look around, there wasn't a tree growing in this place before I turned up. Now everybody's got a plan in their sculpture. Where'd they get that idea from? They're always a year or two behind, aren't they, the buggers? But anyway, we'll next year we'll have hundreds of people in vans. We'll probably have theatre productions going on in vans, like serious, you know, stuff like that.
What do you hope for your work?
I hope it gets to Sydney. It's got to go to Sydney next, so we'll see whether it makes the grade. I'm tracking over with my son in the holidays, and we'll see how we go. But back to Bob, really. I mean, you know, this whole thing is a tribute to Bob, and of course Bob was my foster father, and you know, my surrogate. You know, saved my life when he turned up at the school I was at, and then we taught together, and then I moved into his house for a while, and actually Robin and Ben and everybody were down here the other day, so we've had a bit of a reunion. And but
what do you think of Sculptures by the Sea?
Well, you know, it pulls the punters, there's no question about that. I always have a problem with sculpture shows or anthology sculpture shows because they kind of always just look like a mess when you look at them as a whole. You know, you've got the tractor over there next to the hand with the pouring the sand, Goff's hand. You've got the bungle piece. I mean, it's very hard to do a sculpture show on a beach. You want to kind of isolate each work or something like that, so that it's not like painting shows, you know, where everything looks square and it's kind of reasonably formal and you can get away with murder. This, you don't get away with anything. The negative spaces are a problem, there's no question about it.
What do you think about this year's Sculptures by the Sea as
think
compared to others?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty good. You'd have to ask Thelma that, she's the expert, I'm just a bum.
I did have a question. Why are you wearing that same outfit that you had on at the art gallery last Friday night?
Because, you know, once I got into this at the beginning of it, I am homeless and everything. I haven't shaved, all I've done is gone for a swim every day. So I've done the washing, had a bath and had a swim, all in 5 minutes.
So that's it?
And that's it, and it dries out beautifully and I wander off to the art gallery for a cocktail. Does that answer your question?